Hey everybody, it's Harry from Celebrity Daddy BBQ, the YouTube channel that teaches you how to master barbecue so you can spread barbecue love. You guys know I love ribs, and I've been searching around the world for the best ribs to cook, to eat for backyard as well as competition. The nice folks at Port Town Foods have Iberico ribs. So if you've seen my previous video on the Spanish Iberico rib, you know I love that kind of a pork flavor. So I was able to get a slab of Iberico pork ribs, spare ribs, compare that against a Duroc rib. And in this episode, we're going to do a little taste throwdown, show you how to make a Memphis wrap from scratch, cook 2 sets of ribs to perfection, give it a taste test, and let you know my impression of which one reigns supreme. My Memphis dry rub doesn't have any salt, so I'll show you how we do it. We have 2 parts of honey powder, 2 parts of brown sugar, 1 part paprika, 1 part mild chili powder. I use California chili powder, half a part of granulated garlic, half a part of granulated onion, half a part of mustard powder, and cayenne to taste. You can put as little or as much cayenne as you want. We're going to mix this up and we're going to pair it with my Texas style S&P rub. This S&P, which has celery seed, white pepper, salt, and black pepper, is a standard that you've seen me use this in many videos. I have 400 videos. There are at least 20 videos that use this rub. So you can go watch the video on how to make this standard Texas S&P rub. This dry rub here, we're going to mix it up. We're going to use this combination of the salt from the Texas rub combined with our Memphis dry rub mixture to make some fantastic Iberico ribs and Duroc ribs. Let's go ahead and season up the ribs. Use a little bit of schmear, mustard schmear. Put a layer of Texas style S&P, just a little bit to provide the salt. We apply our Memphis style dry rub on top of that, and this is going to be served kind of cooked in the pit and served with another dusting of rub before we serve it. Since the rub has no salt, you can use quite a lot of it without causing any problems. The sweetness comes from the powdered honey. If you're wondering where to buy powdered honey, you can go to a Korean store. Korean markets carry powdered honey. It's a very common ingredient in Korean cuisine. If you don't have powdered honey, regular white sugar is going to be fine. Okay, there you go. I'm going to season up all of these racks and let them sit for a little bit before we cook them. Crusting up beautifully. After about 2 hours, this is how it looks like. You want to spray with this product here. I can't believe it's not butter, to keep your ribs moist, to give that nice butter flavor and coating on the top. This is a little black belt tip that we use in competition. Keeps our ribs absolutely moist and tender. You want to cook it until the crust sets, and you want to pull it as soon as the crust sets. That is the Maillard reaction. For those nerdy people out there, it's called the pyrolysis non-enzymatic browning of amino acid, but that's too hard to say, so I'm going to touch it, and the crust is almost there. I'm going to give it another maybe 8 to 10 minutes, and it's going to be absolutely perfect. I'm going to show you guys the next step. Alright, I'm checking the crust, and the crust has set. This is absolutely perfect. Let's take it out of the pit now. Looks absolutely beautiful mahogany color from that Memphis style dry rub I taught you guys how to make from scratch. That's a great rub to use on ribs and any kind of pork product. Let's do a butcher paper wrap. I'm going to use some of the, I can't believe it's not butter, and then that Memphis rub that we made. Just want to touch up a little bit of the rub here. I like to spray it with a lot of butter. Gives it a fantastic flavor. And we're going to use butcher paper today. because I'm not going to use any sugar or any liquids. I'm just going to cook this rib to absolute dry rub, Memphis perfection. A little bit of product here. Especially with the Memphis style dry rub. I'm just gonna put a little bit more rub at the end. So we're gonna eat it kind of dry. This scratch made rub doesn't have any salt, as you probably saw already in this episode. So the saltiness came from my little Texas rub that I used at the beginning. So let's give it a shot here. I'm gonna try the Duroc first. Pick a nice piece of Duroc rib here. See, it's absolutely gorgeous rib. Got that nice, beautiful color and crust on it. Take a bite now. Super delish. That rub has just a hint of sweetness to it. Lots of flavor. It's perfectly salted. The salt was able to penetrate because I let the rib sit for a little bit. You want to sit for about 4 hours or overnight is okay. If you do overnight, don't put so much rub. That way it's not so salty. Absolutely, absolutely delicious bite. A lot of pork flavor. Has a very mild pork flavor, but super duper good eating. That Memphis dry rub is a different way to enjoy ribs. Sometimes I like it sauced, sometimes I like it dry. Today, this is absolutely amazingly perfect. It's dry, has a tremendous amount of flavor. I'm gonna take a second bite. I love that it's not cooked like a contest rib, where it's super tender. It's got a little bit of chew, a little bit of bite. Kind of let that pork flavor really come through. That was the Duroc. So let's now try the Iberico from Spain. So Iberico is a Iberian peninsula in Spain. These hogs are raised in a special heritage condition. They are fed a special diet, and it's absolutely beautiful rib. Let me take a bite of this one. You know, there's a reason why these ribs are world famous. One bite, and you can immediately feel the difference. It's got a very sweet pork taste, like really a high quality pork. It doesn't taste anything generic, and it's just got that wonderful moist pork flavor. The rub is perfect because the rub did not overshadow. There was no sauce, so nothing covered the flavor of the Iberico rib. That animal flavor kind of shines right through. So I'm gonna take another bite now. Wow. Okay, no compare. Hands down for eating. The Duroc is very good, so don't get me wrong. On any given day, you can enjoy this Duroc. It will be a very good rib. But side by side with the Iberico from Spain, I have to give kudos to the Iberico. Absolutely amazing pork taste. I wish you could be here to try this. Just has a very sweet pork flavor. And when you bite into it, you know it's something special. It's not like a piece of ordinary rib that you normally eat. You know, you can do the Duroc. Duroc's a pretty good, great flavor. And compared to this, I would say if you want to scale flavor-wise in terms of pure pork flavor, I would give this a 10. The Iberico. This Duroc is very close behind, so I would give it like an 8.5. And if you eat a normal landrace hog, which is the one you typically find in like Sam's Club and Costco, the generic American pork is very good also. Don't get me wrong. I would give the American pork like a maybe about 7.5. So this is about 8 on 8.5. This is a 10. So just for pure eating pleasure, no sauce, simply smoked and cooked perfectly, not super fall off the bone tender, a little bit of chew that I like. It gives a lot of character to the meat. Number one, no doubt, Iberico. And if you live in Los Angeles and you want to look for this one, just go to Port Town Foods. I want to thank them for sponsoring the meat for this cook. They provided the Duroc. and Iberico. So now I don't have to order the Iberico now from the East Coast, costing me over $100 a slab. So now I have a place to get some Iberico ribs in Los Angeles. I don't have to have it mail order, pay $50 for shipping. I can just drive down to Portown Foods and get this wonderful rib that's really super good eating. You know, in terms of backyard rib, cooked without sauce and a simple Memphis rub, probably the best rib I've ever eaten. And that's saying a lot because I've eaten pork and ribs from all around the world. Enough of me talking. Now let's see if the certified barbecue judge, Mr. Beans, likes these ribs. Okay, I cut Beans a few pieces here, arrange them in a circle so he doesn't know which is which, and only I know which one came from the Iberico versus the Duroc. So let's give him a taste test and see which one Mr. Beans picks first. You ready, Mr. Beans? All right, we're gonna do a taste test here. Oh, he grabbed the first piece, the second piece, the third piece, and he's smelling and taking the fourth piece. All right, so the drum roll, he ate the Iberico first, followed by the Duroc. Then he ate the Iberico, followed by Duroc. So he started with the Iberico first, so I trust Mr. Bean's instincts. He's got a tremendous taste buds and smell. I think he likes it. You like it, Beans? All right, thumbs up from Mr. Beans on some Iberico pork. Thanks for watching my video. I want to do a shout out and thanks to Portown Foods for sharing their love of pork and products with me. Thanks to Jamie Espinoza from Portown Foods who gave me a tour. I'll have a separate video showing you guys a little bit of the tour of his store. Absolutely amazing food that you can source if you live in the Los Angeles area. You have a source of getting some great seafood and some great meats and other products. I'd like to do a shout out also to my patrons who are helping me keep the lights on my channel so that I can offer free content on YouTube. So if you guys want to go on Patreon, lots of exclusive content, behind the scenes, Zoom classes, and a whole lot more. Thanks for stopping by.